In the evening after watching the match, Mabel suddenly attacks Saikyou brutally. Fortunately, Saikyou realized this so he could immediately dodge and defend himself, while Mabel, who was already discovered, chose to run away from him. So he did not let her go just like that. He returned to see her to ask why Mabel did such a thing. It turns out that Mabel's reason for attacking him was to get Saikyou to withdraw from the match. If she fought against him, she felt he could not control himself. So the possibility is that Saikyou will be injured. In addition, she also has the goal of defeating Kyle and freeing him from the influence of the mercenary. After listening to her story, Saikyou decided to continue participating in the tournament. He would defeat Kyler in the finals and protect Mabel from the people who were targeting her. The next day, Saikyou fought against Mabel. In that match, Mabel used her real weapon and no longer pretended to be a hero. Even so, Saikyou had various ways to defeat her. He used a talisman to weigh down her weapon and then stopped her movement by using vines. He then pointed his weapon at Mabel. As a result, the committee ended the match. With this, Saikyou successfully advanced to the finals. He would fight against Kyle, or the mercenary who is Mabel's brother. A few moments after the match began, Saikyou used thick fog to obscure the view. Then he summoned a giant creature that was far stronger than his enemy. The attack launched by the creature rendered Kyle helpless. He lost consciousness because of the attack, and Kyle was also in pain because there was a curse inside his body. Saikyou had the ability to save him, but he couldn't do it because he was afraid his power would be revealed. If his power was revealed, then all his efforts would be in vain. With this, the match was over and Saikyou became the winner. After that, Saikyou immediately met Mabel, and he told her the last words of her brother before he died. Because Mabel had no purpose, Saikyou persuaded her to return to the academy. Then they gathered again with their friends and explained the situation that had happened. Before returning to the academy, Amy challenged Mabel to fight her. In that duel, Mabel was not allowed to use magic. Amy herself was allowed to use it as a concession because Mabel had once defeated her. With this, there was still a grudge between them, and they were able to return to the academy without any problems. The headmaster was satisfied with the results. Thanks to Saikyou, the school was able to save Mabel, and the enemy also lost their strongest person. The reason the headmaster cared about Mabel was because Mabel was blessed with power. In addition, she could also be used to hide the existence of heroes. During the summer vacation, Saikyou got a task to replace his father. Amy and Mabel wanted to go with him, but because their parents were waiting for them, Saikyou forbade them. On the journey, Saikyou only invited Yiva while the others went on vacation at their respective homes. A few moments later, Prince Casilio came to meet Saikyou. He wanted to discuss the work that would be done by him. The Asteria dragon had lived in harmony with the people for over 100 years, but over the past year, the dragon had become erratic and caused a lot of damage. The farms and fields of the citizens had become its target to meet its food needs. Therefore, Saikyou was assigned to go to the Asteria region to investigate it. In addition to having business with Saikyou, the prince was also interested in Yiva. This made Saikyou and the others worried that the prince would do something inappropriate. Shortly after that, Saikyou and Yiva left the academy with the prince and his guards. Upon arriving at the old capital of Asteria, they immediately met the dragon flying around the area. Then a mercenary drove the dragon away. He used a summoned creature, which endangered the people around him. The incident made Yival almost get hurt. That's why Saikyou didn't accept it and questioned why Casilio hired him. The reason Casilio hired the mercenary was to kill the dragon. He thought that was the only way to solve this problem. Saikyou doubted the mercenary's ability, so he asked the prince to reconsider, especially because his servant was in danger. Saikyou also became carried away, provoking the mercenary. The next day, Saikyou decided to look at the dragon documents in the library. When he read them, he found information that this situation had happened in the past. The reason the dragon was strengthening its vigilance was because it was laying eggs. After knowing this, Saikyou was going to confirm it by looking at its nest directly. In the evening, Casilio ordered his servant to invite Yiva to his place. Yiva certainly did not want to obey. She asked permission to sleep in Saikyou's place because she was afraid if she was alone. In the same place, Saikyou brought up the problem with the prince. He asked Yiva to be honest, because becoming the prince's concubine was an honor. Saikyou's words made Yiva very sad. She felt that Saikyou did not need her and wanted to let her go with the prince. In the morning, Yuki told Saikyou that he had been cruel to Yiva. Although Yuki was not human, she had long realized that the girl liked Saikyou. However, Saikyou still did not believe her. He even allowed the prince to have her if Yiva wanted it. But before that, he asked Casilio what part of Yiva he liked. Casilio said that he was attracted to her beauty and the aura of wisdom that emanated from her. Therefore, even though Saikyou and Yiva were already very close, he did not care. After that, Saikyou asked permission to climb the mountain where his dragon lived. Casilio thought that Saikyou would not be back for a few days, so he would use the opportunity to persuade Yeva to become his concubine again. When Sika and Yeva were at the dragon's nest, suddenly there were mercenaries who attacked them. It seemed that they had lied to the prince and were planning to steal the dragon's eggs. Sika could not let this happen, so with the help of Yeva, the enemy's summoned creatures were repelled and defeated until there were none left. Even though his summoned creatures had been defeated, Jack still did not give up. He ordered his troops to attack, although he was not sure he could win. However, because the dragon started to move, they became scared and chose to flee. In addition, Yeva also managed to burn his spellbook, so Jack could not fight back. After capturing the mercenaries, Sika brought them before the prince. He also reported on the dragon, which had been acting strangely lately. Even though he was told that the dragon was guarding its eggs, Prince Saikyou still asked Saikyou to kill it. He wanted to make the case as a real achievement so that he could be accepted as the crown prince. Saikyou flatly refused his request, and Saikyou, not accepting it, would detain him on false charges and take Yeva from him. Initially, Saikyou intended not to resist, but because his goal was Yeva, Saikyou immediately said all his frustrations and said that he would not give Yeva to someone like him. Seeing the incident made Lies laugh. She stopped the dispute and suggested listening to Yeva's feelings. Yeva said she felt honored, but she rejected his offer and chose to return to the academy with Saikyou. One time, Saikyou asked Onmyouji for help to meet his family. He had received a letter from them inviting him home for the spring break. Besides Onmyouji, Mabel was also invited by him. Saikyou was sure that his father would be happy to meet another noble princess like himself. When they arrived at his family's residence, Saikyou immediately introduced his friends to his father. Then his older brother named Glai came and suddenly challenged him to a duel. It seemed that he still hadn't forgotten the incident in the past, when Saikyou defeated him. Before Glai could fight Saikyou, Onmyouji decided to become his opponent. They had a sword duel without using magic. In a short time, Glai was able to defeat Onmyouji. Then when Glai was about to challenge Saikyou, the holy princess named Fiona came to stop them. Fiona was the holy princess, heir to the bloodline of Miko and the royal family. Saikyou deliberately did not tell anyone that Fiona was there because he thought it would be too much trouble. Moreover, the reason Onmyouji was invited to his house was also Fiona's request. She really wanted to meet someone who looked like a hero and make him her knight. But because that was very difficult to do, she requested to accompany him back to the capital. In the evening, they had dinner together. At the same time, Saikyou talked about his daily life at school and his journey when he met the dragon. Because Saikyou was very close to Yeva, Fiona asked about their relationship. Yeva explained that she was Saikyou's servant, while his father, who heard the conversation, was reminded of Yeva's father, who opposed his daughter becoming Saikyou's servant. When Saikyou was in his room, Onmyouji came to see him. She wanted to relax a bit because being polite at that house was quite tiring. In addition to coming to rest, Onmyouji also wanted to know what Saikyou wanted to do after graduating. Since they had promised to go on an adventure, Onmyouji wanted to make sure if Saikyou remembered the promise, and it turned out that Saikyou still remembered it. Besides, Saikyou needed someone stronger than him to hide his true strength. On the next day, Saikyou accompanied the princess around the city. Besides Saikyou, Glai and Onmyouji also accompanied her to replace the guards. When they arrived at the market, Fiona invited Saikyou to hold hands so they wouldn't get separated. This made Fiona feel happy because they looked like a couple. The arrival of their group attracted a lot of attention, especially when Onmyouji and Glai protected her from falling objects. Princess Fiona was upset because Saikyou was silent and did nothing, when she really hoped that Saikyou would be the first to save her. As everyone was looking at her, Glai reminded the princess and the others to go home immediately. Before going home, Saikyou visited a stall and gave Fiona a gift. Fiona had never received a gift like that before, so she became cheerful again and forgot about the problem that had just happened. Saikyou was happy that Fiona liked it, and he planned to give her an even better gift next time. In the afternoon, Saikyou went to see Glai, who was practicing, and seeing him practice diligently made Saikyou think that it was only right that the princess chose Glai as her bodyguard. But the real reason was not because of that. Glai felt that Fiona chose him because she had a certain purpose. He had the ability to see the future and act according to what was predicted. Fiona seemed to like Saikyou so much. She always looked for him everywhere and wanted to talk to him together, while Saikyou always avoided her. He didn't want to be involved with her because it could be a threat. Then when Saikyou met Onmyouji, Onmyouji suggested to accompany Fiona. Onmyouji saw Fiona looked lonely because no one accompanied her. Sika followed the advice. When Fiona was playing chess alone, she immediately met her to play against her. Fiona is very good at playing chess. That's why no one wants to play with her, because they feel they will not win. Even though he had no chance of winning, Sika still fought him. He was also brave enough to make a bet, where the loser had to obey the wishes of the winner. As they played chess, they talked about everything from who the strongest chess piece was to the problems of the political world. Sika also brought up Fiona's ability to see the future. He had learned about it from his brother, but even before he was told, he had already had a good idea. Sika asked if she would use her power to help the Empire, but Fiona denied it. She said that even if she could see the future, it could not be changed, so she chose to live her life according to her own will. After that, Fiona told Saikyou that he had lost the game of chess, so she immediately started thinking about what she should ask him. In another place, a group of demons were on a killing spree. They had slaughtered everyone in their path, and one of them had the ability to assess strength. He planned to use his power to gather an army and attack the hero.
さっきからずっとゾロさんはしないでくださいよ。皆のおかげで負担がムデレブ、ピリスラリアはジャガン、黒の一族のこの旅でさらに強く力を見通す。しっかり補給をしておいてくれ。思い悩んだりもしたが、目的を完遂するため、なぜこれが自分にその。
Meanwhile, Saikyou was preparing to escort the princess to the capital. With a large escort of troops and carriages, they hoped to prevent any unwanted incidents. In the middle of the journey, Saikyou asked Glai what he would do if they were attacked. He had already sensed that a group of bandits were targeting them, and shortly after, the lead carriage was destroyed. The bandits immediately revealed themselves and launched a surprise attack. Saikyou quickly exited the carriage. He deliberately stood on top of it to lure the enemy's attention. Then, when all the enemies had run out of arrows, Glai ordered his troops to counterattack. When the troops and the bandits attacked each other, Princess Fiona asked Saikyou to capture them all alive. Saikyou then used plant magic to successfully capture them all. Due to leaving early, Yeva and her friends were not involved, but they had to regroup and turn around to ensure the situation. Meanwhile, the bandits will be taken to the capital. Fiona will investigate who ordered them to be used as evidence against her political enemies. It seems that Fiona had predicted this, so they did not lack carriages to take them all. Fiona also knew that there were other groups out there, but they would never come because they had been attacked. Upon arriving at the academy, Saikyou was asked by the headmaster to give a welcome speech for the new students. Usually, Saikyou would refuse to carry out such a conspicuous task like that, but this time he accepted it so that he would look like a normal person. It didn't take long for the group of demons that were targeting Amai to arrive at the academy. They were intending to cause a commotion and commit murder. Zur was very confident that they could complete their mission, because even though their opponent was a hero, he thought the hero was still a child. However, none of them could meet the hero, because Saikyou had done something so that the group of demons could not go anywhere. Mabel faced off directly with one of the demons. Her fighting strength was not too far apart, but because the demon had magical resistance, Mabel was overwhelmed and was saved by Saikyou.
何を言っているのかは。
ここから先には。
一撃が重すこの身のこなし。軽い。
私もこれくらいできる。
ゾルムネムが言うところ絡めてなど使わず。
The thick fog that covered the academy grounds made the group of demons gather back to their original position. This made them realize that something was wrong, and because the situation was not normal, their captain decided not to continue their mission. At that moment, Saikyou began to reveal himself. He made the demons confused because he suddenly appeared above while reciting a poem. As a demon who can assess strength, Zar could not say anything when he saw Saikyou. He immediately despaired because the person they were facing was the most terrifying demon who sided with humans, while his subordinates tried to attack, but the attacks were not effective because Saikyou had various ways to overcome them. To counter the attack from the power of the demon's eye, Saikyou summoned a giant snake with the ability to see. The result of the demon's gaze was so strong that it made his opponent start to hurt until it stopped his heartbeat. Saikyou already knew that they came to kill the hero, so he asserted they couldn't do it because he himself was protecting him. After hearing his words, Zor immediately ordered his partner to leave, while he himself would stall for time until his partner left using his teleportation magic. At the same time, Saikyou unleashed a very powerful magic attack. The attack made Zor disappear instantly until there was nothing left. While the other demon managed to escape from Saikyou, but he could not escape from the curse that had been planted in his body. After all the demons were defeated, Mabel immediately approached him. Mabel asked Saikyou where the demon that had attacked him was. Saikyou asked her not to worry because all the demons were already defeated. Mabel was also asked to keep this incident a secret from the others. After that, all the students gathered at the new student welcome event. They gathered and enjoyed the various foods that had been provided by the academy. Until then, everything looked normal. Then when Saikyou was about to give a speech, suddenly there were knights looking for Onmyouji. It seems they had been ordered to arrest Onmyouji on charges of committing a major crime for eliminating the demon's envoy. Although Onmyouji was arrested on false charges, Saikyou chose to remain calm and avoid a commotion. He held back his friend from fighting back and complied with the knight. The headmaster said that it was true that a demon had come to the academy, so he asked who had killed it. Saikyou did not blame the headmaster for allowing them to capture his student, but because the Empire was trying to find a reason to kill the hero, he wanted to know why. The headmaster did not provide a satisfactory answer, so he decided to rescue Onmyouji on his own. At nightfall, Saikyou summoned a dragon snake and went to the place where Onmyouji was imprisoned. It didn't take long for Saikyou to reach the castle and confront the guards. The castle guards warned him to stop, but because Saikyou did not obey them, they called for reinforcements in large numbers. No matter how many troops were deployed, Saikyou could not be stopped. He easily parried all attacks and retaliated with terrifying magical power. Because it was troublesome, Saikyou massacred the entire army until there was none left. Thanks to his summoned beast, Saikyou was also able to find Onmyouji in a short time, but Amy did not want to run away with him because she was afraid that Saikyou's family would be involved. Saikyou then said that Onmyouji was a human hero who was reincarnated every 100 years at the same time as the Demon King. There was a reason why she was going to be killed. Those who are without power are very afraid of those who are powerful, so Saikyou asked her to run away. If she stayed there, she would definitely be killed. After a while, a group of soldiers approached him. It turned out that they were Glai and Princess Fiona. Saikyou immediately asked her to explain why Onmyouji was being killed, even though they still had the enemy demons, but instead wasted the advantage of the hero. Fiona answered him by explaining the history of the country. She believed that the Demon King and the hero were relics of the past. As for the reason for killing him, it was because the hero brought the potential to fight against demons. Therefore, they wanted to prevent this from happening by eliminating the existence of the hero. Even so, Fiona decided to help him. She would continue to try to get Onmyouji released from there by persuading the kingdom. However, Saikyou did not trust Fiona's words just like that. Rather than returning empty-handed, Saikyou chose to take her away. Fiona was disappointed that Saikyou did not trust her, but she supported his decision and helped him escape with enough supplies. This made Saikyou realize that Fiona was still on his side. In return for not following her request, Saikyou used his power to resurrect all the troops he had defeated. Fiona thought this was troublesome, as she planned to tell everyone that there was a demon attacking her destination so that the kingdom would not kill the hero. But because Saikyou's nature was like that, Fiona tolerated his actions. That's why Fiona told them to leave immediately to the next country. From a distance, Fiona spoke to a mysterious shadow figure. She told the shadow that the person who had just spoken to her was the current generation Demon King. She could tell because she used her powers repeatedly to meet him when she was a child. This is the end of Saikyou Onmyouji no Isekai Tenseikei Season 1 and 2. Thank you very much for staying on this channel and watching our videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep you up to date with our latest content. See you in the next video.